Hey guys, it's been a while. So, something I noticed from time to time is bubble is increasing or decreasing, a economic bubble. Um, Not the easiest way to describe it, so I'll just jump in. So, it starts off usually with an investor inflating the bubble. They pump whole bunch of money into it. They go and invest in a business, they go and invest in a service, get people interested. Not always an angel investor or a bank. Sometimes it's a institutional investor, or it might be the like the planning committee or steering committee at a company, a major company that they'll give you a bubble for like crossovers. Started out as a bubble. They started investing, saying there's probably customer demand there, but they ultimately started funding the bubble. Then uh, there's a second stage where they expect the middle class, basically the average person, to go and continue pumping money in through like subscriptions or to buy in or things like that. For the crossover, it was that the middle class would buy into the idea of a crossover, and as a step up from a car, larger engine things. So streaming services, that's when the customer demand takes over, and you get enough people subscribed to create a critical mass, and you're self-sustaining at that point, and that's kind of the end goal that everyone searches for. So it doesn't always work out. Sometimes when you get into stage B, the demand isn't there, and the service falters, and the bubble kind of floats out, kind of dies off. And I like to say that that happens more often than not, but I'm just cynical like that. Um, Kind of stage C is where either it's working well and funded by users, and the long tail starts using it, or it dies before they get to it. And so the long tail, they incur much fewer switching costs out of that. Just fun fact. So I feel like basic income is just take a step back. I feel like the like modern economics is built around bubbles that we had at first stage, which was you can add value and you can create economic input simply by assembling raw materials into completed components. Like a person taking leather and making it into shoes or something, taking cloth and making clothing. Um, at some point, we had to switch to a second mode where it wasn't enough just to add this value. You had to also increase the market, and market growth was part of meeting your targets and getting the earnings that you're supposed to get, and make your shareholders happy. And it's like we're in a third mode now. I'm not sure but we're seeing where bubbles get large enough, and bubbles aren't bubbling up large enough to pull the entire economy up anymore. It's they can only do a little bit. So we get things like negative interest rates, basic income. These are kind of mark an end time to the mode two, possibly an end of capitalism overall. Especially third one would be nationalized healthcare, that combine all these together, and it seems like economic capitalistic and capitalistic economism isn't really a 21st or maybe 22nd century uh, viable method of dividing things. I'm not saying that communism or socialism is any better. Those are probably 20th century only. It surprised me to see that, like in China, they don't hand out masks; they sell them. They have a free market there. So it's going to be some kind of hybrid, but feels like we're on a transition phase. Thanks. Have a good one.